You know what is happening in their constituencies. They just can't go around and win elections and then sit tight and think somebody will do their job for them. I just send them back.
Mr. President, the 17 governors in the southern part of the country recently called for restructuring. They also announced a ban on open grazing in the southern states. But despite that, the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, SAN, said they didn't know what they were talking about. But what exactly is your own opinion on open grazing? What steps are you planning to take to put an end to farmers' herders' clash?
You want me to contradict my Attorney General? Okay. What I did was ask them to go and dig the Gazette of First Republic when people were obeying laws. There's cattle routes and grazing area. Cattle routes where when they are moving up country, north to south or east to west, they have to go through there. If you allow your cattle to stray into any farmer's farm, you are arrested. The farmer is invited to submit his claims. The alkali or the judge will say, oh, I pay. If you can't, the cattle is sold. And if there is any balance, you are given. And people are behaving themselves. And in the grazing areas, they built earth dams, put windmills, in some places even veterinary departments, so that the herders are limited. Their routes is known, their grazing area is known. If they have any problem from the locality is known. But I'm telling you, this rushing to the center, you know, people just, I think. So I asked for the gazettes, you know, to make sure that those who encroached on these cattle routes and grazing areas will be dispossessed, you know, and try to bring some order back into the cattle areas. The problem is trying to understand the culture of the cattle rearers. There is a cultural distance between the Tips and the Fulanis. So the governor of Benue said, I'm not disciplining the cattle rearers because I'm one of them. I cannot refuse to say I'm not one of them, but he's been very unfair to me. And I told him that the Nigerian cattle rearer was not carrying anything more than a stick, sometimes with a machete to cut some trees and give it to anymore. But those sophisticated ones, they are good with AK-47. So from all the Sahel areas, people rush to Nigeria, you know, and Fulani from Mauritania or from Central Africa look the same. So they think they are Nigerian ones. And I assure you that we are trying to resuscitate these cattle routes, grazing areas, and make them accountable. And then this cancelling of taxes. Ordinary people like it, but the problem of accountability, you know, when taxes are being paid, people were behaving themselves. But now without taxation, people are doing what they like.
Yeah, Your Excellency, that brings us the question of power devolution. All these taxation things, these were things that were working in the First Republic, but they are no longer working because of oil. And that's why people are talking about restructuring the federation to make it work for the people. And it was part of the APC manifesto in 2015. I mean, what is your position now on devolution of powers?
Devolution of power, you have to define it.
It's the legislative list. Take some of the things to residual and keep a few in concurrent, but you have a strong defense in the center.
Well, virtually, local governments are virtually killed. You know it.
Yes, sir.
The 3 tiers of government, federal, state, and local government. If they are being followed properly, we wouldn't have all these social problems. But the problem is the local government have been virtually killed. And that is not good for this country. It's not good for this country because those who became the local government chairman have been compromised. If your local government is, say, entitled or is supposed to receive 300 million, a letter will be prepared for you to sign that you have received 300 million and you are given only 100 million.
So how can we reduce the powers of governors and give more powers to local governments? By writing a new constitution.
And reduce the powers of the president too. While
we're at it.
Yes.
You see, the president has a lot of power. Okay, I think this question of accountability is very important. The schooling, especially education, is suffering so much. If, for example, during our generation, I spent 9 years in boarding school, and the teachers then treat us as they treat their own children. If you do well, you are brought before the classroom and praised. If you misbehave, they remove your thing and plug you there in front of the class. So you just have to behave yourself. But now, one of the chaps from Ogun State, Pastor Bakari, he told me when he came back from America, he went to his alma mater, and he couldn't differentiate between the teachers and the children there. You see, the teachers used to take students as their children, and they have all the time for them. But problem, the standard virtually has collapsed. We have a lot of problem.
Which takes us to the next question. In the northern part of the country, many schools have been subjects of attacks. Now, if these schools are perpetually being attacked by bandits and terrorists, and you want to lift 100 million out of poverty, and their parents are also under threat, how do you think that goal of 100 million people out of poverty can be achieved?
Well, try and appreciate what efforts the federal government